Danny definitely did a champion's drive. In the first stint, he were absolutely flying.
Down at the hairpin at Village is Dan Sylvester leading his way in the hot hatches.
Tricycling through the loop.
Getting the leading hot hash cars into the back of the Alpha group. The Cupra was about to be 8th because alongside him going through Farm is Dan Sylvester. Sylvester has gone through there around the outside at Farm Corner. Dan Brown that's made a very good start to the race. He's got ahead of Dan Sylvester.
Kevin's car's here, right? And we don't know where Kevin is.
There is Dan Sylvester. He wins in Class A.
If you enjoy these videos and want to support the channel whilst getting a little bit extra back in return, please consider joining the Patreon. Right chaps, welcome to Silverstone for what is probably going to be the last race of the year. Doing hot hatch this weekend, finale, I'm leading the championship. Will I win it? I don't know, we'll find out. We're also doing Club Enduro, but not in the RS3. That guy's having a good time testing that car out. If you remember me saying on one of my E46 videos maybe or something that the Civic's good to go and I didn't have to worry about it, did I? All I had to do was fix the brakes. Well, have I found some problems this week? Of course. Just getting ready to load the car up Thursday night because I was going to go down and help Kevin with his car, you know, traditions and all that. Found loads more problems with the car, specifically a ball joint, nice and easy, right? But no, it was one of the hard race ball joints. Luckily, there's a lad in Otley sorted me out. Shout out to Mr. Rawcliffe, sorted us out there. So we've got some brand new ball joints on from his arms that he was going to fit to his car. I'll have to replace them. I know. We've got a disc from the Integra. Guess what this looks like when I pulled it off. I know, I fitted some new rear pads and yeah, long story short, noticed that one of my rear discs was a bit manky. So yeah, pulled one off the Integra, of course I did. It was a bit dirty, but it's alright. I even got the DTI out. Ditty, yeah, I even did it, man. Look at me, Mr. Engineer. But the biggest problem that I've noticed, and I got myself into a bit of a wormhole here, and I'm just going to address the problem right now, right? So I drained the oil in it, I changed the oil, and I cleaned the oil pan, the tray that I drained the oil into. I cleaned it out because the last time I did this, I was worried that I might have some problems with some of the bearings in the engine, right? So I cleaned it out and drained it again, and guess what? The tray had bits of engine in it, so I was a little bit upset about that. So my plan was to change the shells and to do this and to do that, but I had other problems, had delays, and then it was going to be a case of do I change the shells when I get here or not. Now I've had another theory. If you remember when we stripped my K24, I used that same oil pan and maybe I just didn't clean it out right. And to back up that theory a little bit, Joe and his dad who were in there, remember the EP3, I was a bit poorly this morning, and whilst I was trying to be less poorly, they ran the car up to temperature and took off the brand new oil filter that I just put on, cut it open and look inside, and it was fine. The engine sounds fine from cold, and there's no indication that those bits of metal were actually from this engine. And everyone, literally everyone, apart from, there's me that's worrying, but every bit of advice that I've had on this is said, just send it. So, yeah, we're sending it. But yeah, car is pretty much good to go. We need to get it scrutineered today. I want to change the ECU, but my ECU has been sealed. I want to take off that rev limit. I think it's holding me back on launches. I've just edited my Snetterton video this last week, and I'm pretty sure the little rev limit thing at 3 grand is actually holding me back, so we're just going to get rid of that, go fully manual, and hopefully have some better launches off the line. Because the championship, if I finish where I normally do, you know, I should win the championship, but for one, I've got to finish, and for two, I'd ideally like to win, right? I've not been testing. We're at Silverstone Grand Prix track. It's the full circuit, so, you know, big long laps. For a 15-minute race, we'll probably only get like 5, maybe 6 laps. It's going to be busy. Kevin's here. We've got quite a few in Class A. There's a BMW as well that's entered Class A. A BMW in hot hatch. Wonder what that'll be. And Joe, who we know normally does the Type R Trophy, he's entered in Class B as well. So we're all having a bit of fun this weekend. It's a final round. And then also, the reason I'm doing Club Enduro is I am currently 7th overall in the Autosport National Driver Rankings. So for every race driver in the UK, for every race that's happened in the UK, I believe it also includes Ireland, I am 7th overall. Can you imagine how many hundreds, if not thousands, of drivers are in those rankings overall? And I am 7th, I'm in the top 10. So my goal is to finish in the top 10, and to do that, ideally I need at least 1 win this weekend. If I win all 3 races, I might temporarily be in the top 3, if you can imagine such a thing. So that'll be pretty gnarly. But yeah, Scott from Darkside, I've been begging him. He's letting me share his golf with him. Can you believe it? He's already won the Club Enduro Championship, and he's going to let me do the final round with him, so that if we do win, that obviously gives me another point on that national standing. So I'll let you know if I find anything else on the car, but everyone agreed. You reckon just send it, don't you? Send it, you alright? You reckon I should just send the car?
I ain't fucking
Well, we've got a few people coming up. Josh is coming up, Joe's coming up, Kevin will be here. Why are you ragging your car up and down? One of our MR2 drivers got a £200 fine last year for doing exactly that on that exact piece of a road. So I got brand new disc and pads. I did run it up on the road.
Well now, what do we have here?
Not on the road, sorry, on axle stands to try and, you know, get some heat into them. But obviously I've not touched the rear brakes, and these discs, oh, they look pretty, don't they? They do look pretty, I know. You should have seen them before. But yeah, we've got a busy day ahead tomorrow. Today is just all about getting some confidence in the car, and yeah, I've tried to clean up the aero a little bit on the front as well, but that's not gone so well. It is what it is.
3 hours later.
Just to keep the dream alive, make sure it feels like we're at a race weekend. We're doing an alignment. We've had to borrow a garage as always, and it's pissing down. What? Oh, you're not even told him that? So Dan spent all day really just dossing about, not doing much. It's been pretty nice all day outside, no rain now like that. It started raining, so obviously Dan activated mechanic and started changing parts in the rain. Now the Birkett relay's finished, we've got access to this lovely garage. So Dan is of course doing an alignment.
Like I'm struggling. You have a real low tolerance to a shit. It's not even that much effort.
Wheel alignments, eh? Can you possibly have more fun at a racetrack?
Right, morning everyone. Rained quite bad last night, but clear skies today. Does mean a wet qualifying though. Kevin's arrived. Hosh is on my car today. Joe's helping Kevin. We've got predefined roles for the pit crew. Chris and everyone should be here later as well at some point, but we're doing some thinking and some maths. Kevin's brought some ballast for me, and I was thinking of ballasting the car back to its old weight and putting the old power tune on. So give me a few more ponies down the straight, but also the engine's a bit happier. Whereas at the minute it's not unhappy, but also I'm leading the championship and I don't want to risk making too many changes at the same time. So if we keep it as it is and see how it goes, it's probably the best start because we are leading the championship. I am going to lower the rev limit though to 7.8, just as a kind of safety net for the car, just because of all the worrying and anxiety that I've had this week, which has probably been misfounded, hopefully been misfounded. But yeah, we're just getting ready for qualifying now. So we are going out in about an hour, and this is the current, yeah, the track is a bit damp. So yeah, the cars are, yeah, very condensed. That's less than ideal. I'll have to put the heated rear screen on, shall I? Fuck. I've got some brand new AO52s for the front. They're still on 7J wheels. I tried to sort some 8s in time, but it was all a bit last minute and it didn't happen. But yeah, anyway, we'll send the car as it is, see how we go. I am tempted to try the heavier car, more power for the second race, but we'll see how race 1 goes first, then go from there. Right, that's the full power map loaded on now. The fuck you map, it's installed. Nah, just kidding. So still a 218, so we're still running 1090 kilos, 218, although we're going to be more like 1095 kilos, if not 1100 kilos in qualifying, because I've had to put a bit more fuel in it. But the car thinks it's got a full tank, but it definitely has not got a full tank. That's a problem, man. I wish I could fix that properly. But yeah, so we're same as before, just lower rev limit and no 1 tons. We've taken the 1 tons off, so hopefully I can go manual and do myself a better launch. But yeah, we'll find out. So we're qualifying soon. Media suite's nearly good to go. I'm just finishing rigging that up. Hoshi's just going to put me a split pin. I had to change the steering arm last night, the tractor end. Boys are here supporting the last round. Kevin's here. Right, we're just about to head out for qualifying. We're actually sharing track today with an Alfa Romeo racing series. So our qualifying and both races will be shared. So that'll be an interesting thing. But obviously it's a huge track, Silverstone Grand Prix track. The track is wet at the minute. Obviously the skies are clear and everything like that, so we're thinking the track will just get better and better through the laps. Obviously untested brakes, but they feel pretty good, and other things that are slight concern, but hopefully should be fine. So low rev limit, 7-800 now, and we've lost the 1 tons. Some of the Alfas should be pretty fast, but I don't know. Pressures, it definitely working. Oh, it's a bit late. Definitely is working for now. As the track dries up though, I might not be so lucky. Got it? You sure? Oh, it's still got your fucking flag. Well, I think that's all she wrote then in that case. I don't think we'll get another lap. Certainly won't be green lap anyway, will it? So we might get another lap. No. Check it. Right, we'll see where that puts us. Did a 39.5 according to my timer. But the car felt good and the brakes worked. There's no nasty noises. Doesn't feel any slower really from having the lower rev limit. So the rev limit on the gauge used to go to like 8.5 before, and now it goes just before then. I'm gonna test it out here. Yeah, it goes to like 8.2 on the gauge now, but in reality it's 7.8. The car felt really good. I forgot how good brand new AO52s feel when it's damp. It's like a cheat code. So we're qualifying next in Club Enduro. Ah, good weighbridge. I wanted to go on the weighbridge anyway. 1092. 1092. That's less than what I thought it would be. That's weird. So we've put 20 litres of fuel in, which would weigh 15 kilos. 17.5 litres of fuel, sorry? Surely not. We did have it idling for a bit this morning, but not for that long. Right, I'm going to take the headset off now, but I'll keep the GoPros running. Oh yeah?
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Signing for you today.
No worries. Hold on to the rolling road, which is fine, but it's better to be called now if we did blow over. We've made some changes this morning obviously, but it should be fine. But we are racing in just an hour's time, so, and there's my Golf going to assembly area now that I'm driving, I hope that means I've done well. I've not filled it in yet, I've just lost the pen. So my car had just come off the weighbridge and now it's about to go on the dyno. So it's had the weight measured and now it's about to get the power measured, and then the club will be able to work out from that whether or not I'm exceeding the 200 horsepower per ton limit which my class regulates. I had to dash now to qualify in the Golf, so I left the car in safe hands with Josh and I went over to the assembly area to get into the Golf. You should remember the Golf from some track days in the past, and also a car that we raced against at Donington just a few weeks ago. You may remember I ran out of brakes trying to stay in front of it. But this car is super good. It redefines what the words diesel Golf can mean. It really is a testament to the development and the work that they've put into it over the years. Now we can't do a lot of laps either because we need to return to the Civic for the first race very shortly. But I'm going to go out for a 10-minute stint in the Golf, get a couple of laps under my belt and ultimately qualify for the race that's going to happen later in the day.
John.
Right, so my qualifying time there wasn't too bad, but there is a bit of room for improvement. Remember, the lap is so long on the Grand Prix track. It's taking us nearly 3 minutes to get round and do one lap. But we'll see how Scott gets on a little bit later. For now, it's time for the first hot hatch race of the day. We're starting in pole position, but remember, we've got the Alfas on the grid as well, and that race is starting 10 seconds ahead of ours, just up the road. Oh, right rush there. I've just been doing qualifying in the Golf. I was first in class when I come out of the car, but the track was getting faster, so hopefully Scott's going a bit faster still. Oh, luckily the lads sorted the car out for me, so thanks for that. We apparently blew under on the dyno, so that's good, I guess. But yeah, a bit of a rush. My fault really for doing 2 sets of racing. So remember, we've got these Alfas in front of us. I was the fastest car out of everyone in qualifying, and hot hatch, most of the hot hatch guys were the same. So they're putting us behind this big line, right? Second checker line, right? Okay. So remember, we've not got 1 ton, so we might do a practice launch here actually. The tyres aren't very warm, but... Oh, right, we're here. That was a stress. That was a stress to get here. Kevin's behind us. Oh, don't do this, Garmin, for fuck's sake. Delete that session, you stupid ass. This guy's waving and no one's seen him. Excuse me! The Alpha!
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Silverstone for the second day of racing, brought to you by the 750 Motor Club.
Is it broken down? The tail lights look a bit weak. What is that, a 75? Oh, I've never seen that before. How are they going to recover that?
One of the Alfas I can see there is being pushed off the grid.
So the start procedure is a bit different. There's going to be a red light goes out for the Alfas, and then we go on the national flag.
You can see that the Alfas are taking on the front part of this split grid, the hot hatches taking on the back part. They will go at 10-second intervals, but it is the number 4 car of Keith Waite that's being pushed off the grid. He was due to start second from the back, get into the hot hatches. So the first of those is Dan Sylvester, number 37. He is one of those in contention for the championship this season.
Fun then, because we're starting in the lead of my race, but we're going to be starting against the slowest people in the Alfas. Times like these I wish I had some big fucking bright lights on the front of my car. Oh, one of the punters is pulling off. So that's 2 cars retired before the race has started. Oh, 3rd retirement. We've got the 3rd retirement. What the hell, Alfa Romeo Championship, people. 3 cars retired before we started the race.
2 grids, and that 10-second gap, as you say, between the 2 tranches of cars, as the Corrado VR6, that brings back happy memories. I had a lovely Corrado, is interesting because you're going to see a mix of cars as the quicker hot hatches get in among the Alfas, aren't we?
So he's very much one to watch in the hot hatches. Daniel Sylvester, the best of those. He has had 4 wins in the hot hatch championship.
Red light's going to go out, then we have to wait 10 seconds and we should see a Union flag drop.
You can see the final few rows of cars from the hot hatches are coming into position. It's going to be a 15-minute race. Another of the Alfas has broken, I'm afraid, and we are about to go racing for 15 minutes for the High-Tech Electronic Materials Alfa Romeo Championship and the PBS Brakes Hot Hatch Championship. Waiting for the lights to go out, which they do now, and the Alfas head towards us then. It's Paul Plant in the 201 car on the right-hand side of the picture coming towards us, but on the inside it's the number 33 car going through to take the lead. by Dan Silvestre. He's got the edge over Dan Brown. Will Self in third place. Waits in the TCR Giulietta is all over the runoff area at Beckett's as well. So the driver's struggling for grip a little bit here as they head down towards us. But look at that, Dan Silvestre is almost already with the back of the Alfa Romeo pack, Marcus.
Yeah, he's going really well. Dan Silvestre and Dan Brown and those two Hondas are closing in rapidly.
Getting the leading hot hatch cars into the back of the Alfa group. we got Dan Sylvester to the lead as yet? Yes, we have. Dan Sylvester has taken the lead of the race overall now, so he leads the hot hatch.
That's a mess, isn't it? The 64 car, that's been hit pretty hard, and that could well bring out a safety car if there.
Wow, the grip round there is crazy.
TCR, and here's Adam Schaefer walking away from his Peugeot, and that's on the exit of Club Corner, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, and you can see the leaders going through. The safety car, of course, won't have picked the drivers up yet, but they'll see the yellow flags all around the circuit and the SC boards.
So the safety car must have picked up the Alfas, because we're way behind here, aren't we? Where is the safety car? You waiting for me? Oh yeah, there he is. Well, we had a comfortable lead, so I'm not feeling too shy about being behind a safety car. We're probably about halfway through the race. Did we just do 2 laps, 3 laps maybe? So there's a chance we might finish under safety car here, but we'll see. I would be very surprised if we continue racing. Take it though. Last lap dash. I thought the Alfas were going to be faster than that. Especially there's an actual TCR car amongst them somewhere. I think one of the Juliettas, is it? Yeah, there's no way unless they're going to do like NASCAR rules and extend it for one final lap. I don't think they will. Yeah, we're finishing on the safety car. Oh well. Well, we had some good pace. It was fun against the Alfas at the start. It's got to be decisive, get around them. We did that. Looks like everyone got away pretty well. But yeah, there's going to be a checkered flag waiting for us around this corner, I'm pretty sure. And there it is. Well, to be honest, I was feeling a bit tired after all the rushing. I did qualifying, and then I rushed to Club Enduro qualifying, and then I rushed to this race. So we've got a couple of hours break now until I think Club Enduro is the next race for us. We're going to be starting the race in the Golf. Good day's racing ahead, but as boring as it maybe was for you to watch, I'm sure hopefully I edited it a bit, but I need to weigh the car. The car runs so cold with that big radiator on. I don't have my device there. I don't want to take any risks this weekend with it being the final round of the championship. Man, this is some long drive to get around just to get back to the pits.
You can see now that we do have cars heading down pit lane, so very shortly we'll head down to Josh Barrett to hear from our winning drivers.
So we're down here in the pit lane after the first of the race, and we're going to try and catch up with a few of the drivers after our first race on the Silverstone Grand Prix. So unfortunately, rather less racing laps than we had hoped, but for Dan Sylvester, it is a race victory in the Honda Civic. So he gets out of the car as the overall and the PBS Brakes hot hatch winner. We've got the Alfa Romeo winner too, Toby Broom, taking his first win in the overall positions, the high-tech Alfa Romeos, and we can also get our class winners, hopefully for for hot hatch, and we're going to jump straight in because we've got limited time before the next race. Well done, Dan, an overall victory and a hectic couple of laps to get there.
Yeah, I thought the Alfas were going to be faster than that, to be honest, but yeah, hectic race. Would have liked it to go on for a bit longer, obviously, but there's still another race to come, so yeah, car felt really good, really happy with how it's gone, so yeah, looking forward to the next one.
And you picked your lines quite well and managed to pull away from Dan, so that seemed to go quite well from your point of view.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to do any testing or even the Burkett or anything yesterday, so I was a bit unknown this morning, but I've raced it a few times now, so yeah, just trying to guess where the grip might be and luckily pick the right answer. Oh, it's unfortunately raining very heavily now, but we had a good first race there, launched a lot better there, so we'll carry on with that. Car felt good, no complaints. Just felt good. I mean, obviously we didn't lean on it for more than a couple of laps, so yeah, it's coming up to Club Enduro time anyway. So remember, Scott's letting me drive today to try and get another win for the Autosport rankings. So thank you very much to Scott, of course. Yeah, everyone's just chilling under the gazebo. Joe's not top of his car. He didn't have a lot of grip at all. He's still got his Type R trophy alignment on it, so he's going to make it a bit more compliant at the rear. Put some toe in at the rear, take some camber off and stuff like that. But yeah, my car's good to go, pretty much. I think we've won the championship, but I'm not sure. I need to double check the results and do some maths, but we'll still go ham in race 2, why not? We're starting P1 in race 2, and that'll be after Club Enduro. So I'm going to go down to Dark Side of the Garage now, in the rain. Yeah, sound. But yeah, let's go do it.
Alright, you're filming?
Yeah. Oh.
Alright. This is Danny who shared the car with me.
Thanks for letting me drive your car.
I haven't let you, you just took it off me. You literally robbed me.
Oh, it's very wet now. I mean, the rain's not too bad at the minute. We've got a puddle so I can show you. I mean, it's enough, man. A lot of spray. These radicals have just been out, and the spray coming down here was good. I should have got a video, really, but everyone's going wet setup. We're gonna go somewhere between wet and dry. We've actually ended up qualifying second in class. We were first when I jumped out of the car, but the track got drier, and Scott said he got held up on one of his fast laps. So we're starting alongside the Class B leaders, who are a Mark 7 Golf GTI, I believe, 100%. A Jabba Sport. We've all heard of Jabba Sport, I'm sure, most of us maybe. This is very cool, isn't it? So yeah, I'm starting the race, and then it's actually a 30-minute pit window. I thought it was 15 minutes, but no, I'll be out in the Golf for 30 minutes, and then box pretty much straight away and let Scott take over. And then we'll go and get ready for the hot hatch finale. RS3, looking nice. Brad's driving the RS3 today. How's the RS3, Brad? Polished. We had the travel lodge last night, didn't we, Osh? Yeah. Free to a travel lodge. Good that. So, going out in the Golf now, so race starting. We're just going to use the V-Box video, I'm not going to GoPros in. And the live stream's on as well, so hopefully I can make something good from it. But Darkside are actually live streaming this to their channel as well, so that's cool. But yeah, we've got a battle for sure against the other Class B car, and anything can happen, you know, anything can happen in the rain. Silverstone GP, so we're doing a half-an-hour stint, and then we'll be boxing. So let's do it. I'm going to leave Hosh the camera. Here you go, Hosh.
Second, did he?
I just want you to take note of something. As we leave the assembly area, you'll see one of the marshals holding up a sign, and that sign says 2 green flag laps. Sometimes, if the weather is dangerous compared to the previous session, i.e. qualifying, then the circuit will give us 2 green flag laps, which is what that sign is telling us. And this is important that you remember that that sign was there. Okay?
Because guess what? We only got 1 green flag lap. Haha. Great banter.
Straight. Big. Tall.
can see there is a line in the cloud. There is something brighter in the distance, and I'm not sure if that's coming this way or is going away from us, but fingers crossed.
Fabulous IMSA tribute livery. It sets it off so nicely. So a really good bit of private enterprise coming up with something a little bit different to the norm.
And qualified, of course, in drier conditions. It wasn't fully dry, it was damp.
Yeah.
But now the conditions have changed, and we'll see how that favours that car or not as the car. 750 most
Green flag.
Green flag's waved, and the countdown begins.
And I sense it's getting brighter out there. The cloud base has lifted a little, and it seems also slightly warmer than it has been for most of the day, maybe because the wind's just dropped a little.
So the chances are the circuit will dry then as this race goes on.
You'd hope so. There's certainly a big field of cars out there to disperse the water. Some fabulous looking cars in the mix. A lot of Golfs out there.
So we're starting this race in P2. Our main rivals are a pair of Mark 7 Golf GTIs. We've got one in front of us and one behind us. But the start of this race is quite chaotic because remember, we should be getting 2 green flag laps, and as we come round to finish the first, the race suddenly starts and no driver was ready for this.
They accelerate away as the lights have gone out, I think, and we're off and running for 94.5 minutes of racing in this Tequila Club Enduro Championship. The lead is taken at the start by the car from the outside of the front row, Rob Baker in the Volkswagen Golf. It looks like the Mazda had slotted into second place of Alan Henderson, we think probably starting that car, but already the Capture Motorsport Cupra of Mark Price is into third position and trying to take places away. There, certainly the Golf of Scott Parkin, or Dan Silvestro I should say, in that car at the moment, making up a little bit of ground. Third as they make their way past us now. We're on board with Scott Parkin here, Marcus.
Yeah, with the 89 car, be very, very careful feeding in the power, feeding in the steering. You want to minimise your input in these sort of conditions. That eventual change there. You want to upset the balance of the car, so smoothly does it, particularly with the tyres not up to any optimum temperature yet. Now onto coming out onto the Wellington Straight, and you'll see the torque of the car take it pretty even.
Yeah, you'd think that the Golf might be able to get a bit of an advantage, but it's maybe a Class A car that's ahead of it. It's hard to tell who's ahead of it at the moment.
Actually, I'm not sure it's sequential. Looks like he's actually moving it side to side, but it's a pretty stout old gear stick in that, isn't it?
So he's heading his way.
And there's the other parking brother. He's caught
Ryan.
He's caught Ryan.
Yeah.
This is where it gets really interesting. They're different classes, aren't they?
Yeah, it's got Class B, Ryan in Class A.
Yeah.
Ryan sharing with Dylan Brichter, actually. I think it's Dylan that
Dylan
started the
Brichter
race.
started, yeah.
So it's not his brother on track at the moment, but he's come through to complete the end of the first lap. Then it's Rob Baker leading by 0.7 per second from Mark Rice in second. 15 hundredths behind him is the Mazda of what we think is Alan Henderson in third place. Fourth is Harvey Caton, fifth is Joel Oswick, sixth Andrew Rath, seventh Darren Ball, eighth Dylan Brichter, ninth Scott Parkin, Dan Sylvester. It's just Dan Sylvester that was driving that car, not Scott Parkin, although it says Scott Parkin on the dash, which is what confused us. And 10th and 95 car Luke
So there are no Parkins?
There's no Parkins. They're parked up at the moment, all the drivers are. On the front of it, about to come under pressure as well from Dylan Brichter by the looks of it in car number 6, which is the car that started 6th on the grid.
Very good exit here from Brichter.
And looking up the inside, in fact they're going to go 3 wide, aren't they?
And they've got the Seat. They've leapt past the red and blue
that's Rath,
liveried one. That's Andrew Rath, the Lotus driver of yore.
So it's Darren Ball, ex-Compact Cup racer and BMW 6-cylinder racer and Porsche racer, a number of different things over recent seasons. Now out in this Cupra, which is ahead of Brichter in the Audi. Then you've got Andrew Rath, 7th in the Cupra. Was he about to be 8th? Because alongside him going through Farm is Dan Sylvester. Sylvester has gone through there around the outside at Farm Corner. Into 7th position, so Rath possibly not enjoying these conditions too much. The car qualified 3rd has dropped back to 8th.
Yeah, Will Stacey is there down in 12th. One of the blue, and there were 2 or 3 blue Lotuses off. And
Sylvester is leading Class B, of course, at the moment. That's about to be lapped by Dan Sylvester too in the black and red Darkside Golf. Second, number 27 miles. Oh, and problems for number 6. That's Dylan Brichter. He's parked up now. The Audi TT is out of the race here. It doesn't look like Ryan Parkin is going to get a go here. Dylan Brichter pulled up on the side of the road on lap 9 of the race.
So we're just about to start the 9th lap of the race. We're leading Class B, but we've got a Class A Leon TCR car breathing down our neck. The Golf's starting to handle not as great. Now the rain's held off for a little bit, and as the track has started to dry out, the Golf has actually got harder to drive. It had way more stability in the wet, so I believe the car's suspension setup was leaning towards a dry setup, but the tyre pressures were increased once the rain started to come on, and now I'm feeling the negative effect of that. All in all, I was having a good time, and I really enjoyed the first few laps of the race. It was a bit annoying how, despite being told we were getting those 2 green flag laps, we only got 1, so that caused a lot of confusion, but didn't hamper us that much really. So now it's time to pit, and the Leon's right with us here, so I let him sneak past around. It was a good little battle. Obviously it's a much higher horsepower car, but the Golf can really carry its own. It's a great car, but it's time to hand it back over to Scott now. He'll do the final hour of the race in the car, and we can go and prepare for the hot hatch finale.
As we watch the Dan Sylvester, number 89, Darkside Developments Golf, the sole remaining Darkside car in this race, making its way through, and this is going to be going, it's actually just lost out to Andrew Rath, who, and into the pits now comes Dan Sylvester. So into the pits comes Dan Sylvester, first of the people making a mandatory stop in this race, I think, so we'll stay on board with him for the moment. Mindful of the pit lane speed limit of 60 km/h, You can see if that's readout is right on the dash, is doing about 57, 58 kph now. Not wanting to incur the wrath of the officials with a speed gun. There's the dark side car. You see it parks in at 45-degree angle. That's part of the regulations. Cars can't just drive straight in, and they have to be then pushed back by the team before they can get back out and race. But that's not going to happen for a little while because it's a 3.5-minute stop that has to be made here. So there's no need for the team to rush, and they do look relatively relaxed about how they're going about their business here. Brad Kaler's Audi, you can see is heading into the pit lane as well. Dan Silvester's out of the car, as you can see in the background, instantly recognisable. Nobody else in the paddock would sport that haircut.
You want to hurt me? Go right ahead if it makes you feel any better. I'm an easy target. Yeah, you're right. I talk too much. I also listen too much. I could be a cold-hearted cynic like you. But I don't like to hurt people's feelings. Well, you think what you want about me. I'm not changing. I like me.
I can't talk.
We don't have enough of it. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Ian. If only we could.
Yeah, quite. Meanwhile, Baker has come through again. It's complete lap 14 now. Gap's got out to 0.8 of a second on that lap. Meanwhile, Scott Parkin is being pushed into the pit lane and back out into the race. There he goes.
So as Scott rejoined the race, we'd gone from first in class all the way to the back of the grid. But we knew this was going to happen with the early pit stop. Remember, there's no advantage to be gained from a safety car pit stop in Club Enduro, depending on who you ask. So Scott now had to do all he could to make sure that when the other Golf does pit, we'll be in front when the car exits the pit lane. Now, we don't see too much of the car on circuit, but I do have this very nice photo which was taken by a chap called Mick Walker, and the reason I like this photo of the Golf on the day is that you can just about see the Mark 7 behind, but of the 4 cars in this picture, I raced 3 of them throughout 2023, so that's pretty cool, eh? And that's not even them all, is it? Because the TT's missing, or is it? But yeah, there's an hour remaining on the clock, so Scott just needs to drive as fast as he can and hopefully bring home that win.
Track, haven't they?
Oh, and off goes the leader. The leader's off the circuit onto the grass on the hanger straight. Rob Baker rejoins now. Well, they went either side of the BMWs, but it's Will Beat, Mark Rice, I should say, that's benefited from that and taken the lead.
And it was the compact there, wasn't it? 66 and Dave Griffin, they were lapping. And the 2 BMWs just sat in the middle of the road and were quite happy to let the TCR type cars go each side of them. And the next thing we saw from a different camera angle was that leader Rob Baker was autocrossing.
Let's head down to the pit lane now. Josh Barrett is going to be down there. Who's he got?
So we're down here in the pit lane after the first lot of pit stops, and Dan Sylvester, new car for you and a good first stint in tricky conditions.
Yeah, it was a good first stint. Managed to get in front of the class, getting the class lead, and yeah, it was all over the shop a bit because thought we were all going to get 2 green flag laps and we only got 1, so it was all a bit scattered at the start. But yeah, the car feels mega. It's the Golf last weekend, so appreciate Scott letting me take it out, and yeah, hopefully he can bring home a win.
It's obviously been a very successful car for Scott, so your first time racing it. Okay, the conditions aren't ideal, but what do you think of it?
It's a brilliant car, yeah, I really like it. I've driven it on track before, on track days, and it's really good. For a diesel Golf, that's what you've got to remember what it is, it's a diesel Golf, so yeah, it's wicked.
You mentioned there that it's the last time for the car, so can you tell us about the plans for the team for next year?
Oh, well, I might be revealing secrets there, I don't know, but I'm grateful to Scott for letting me take it out anyway, because I'm currently in the top 10 on Autosport nationally, that's why he's let me drive it. If I get a couple of wins this weekend, I might be up near the top, so that's why I'm here. So thanks a lot to Scott for letting me take his car out. It's been a pleasure.
And obviously, you're quite new to racing really, but this year you've driven so many different types of cars. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I've been in the MR2 and the Darkside TT and my Civic, and yeah, I just discovered a few years ago that I really like driving, and racing's the kind of ultimate way to do that on a weekend. So yeah, I'm loving it. It's been good.
And obviously you broadcast it all online as well, your weekend. That's quite a big effort to put in, but quite rewarding with lots of viewers.
Yeah, I enjoy making videos almost as much as I enjoy driving, so yeah, it's great, it's all good.
Well, best of luck for the rest of the racing. Good luck later on as well.
Thank you.
So there is Dan Sylvester out the number 89 Class B Volkswagen Golf TDI.
Good that. Yeah. Well, the diesel TT's just been pulled in.
Everybody looks sad.
Yeah, we all are sad. Petrol ones here still chilling, look. So that was a good stint. It was really messy off the start. We all got told in assembly area we were going to get 2 green flag laps. And then obviously we didn't, we had 1. And I wasn't quite close enough to the pack to really take advantage of that, but it somehow still worked out in my favour because I got the I got the jump on the other chap in the Mark 7. And yeah, we were 6 seconds up at one point, and then I could see him catching up a bit, so I tried to keep pushing. The track it stopped raining in some places, so the track was, it wasn't dry by any means, but some of the corners you could start taking a dry line. And yeah, it just felt weird. The Golf felt more comfortable on the first couple of laps when it was really wet compared to the last couple of laps that I did where it was, a bit patchy. So the lads dropped the tyre pressures anyway. Obviously we've got the radio, so I relayed that to Ruben and they made some changes to the Golf, so hopefully it's going all right now. We should have reset V-Box. That was a mistake. V-Box Delta's still on qualifying time, so you can't really tell if you're making gains or not. So after the pit stop, we are currently, I think we were probably one of the first cars to pit. Oh, where are we? S-Park in there, so we're 23rd, but hardly anyone else has pitted yet. We pitted early, obviously, to give me a break, and Scott has gifted us this drive this weekend, so I'm not here to try and set any lap times or anything like that. I'm just here to try and get another point on that Autosport board. I wasn't really that bothered about it, but then I started seeing myself in the top 10 a couple of times this year, and we're still in the top 10 with the final few weekends, so a couple more wins this weekend. We've got 1 more win, we might get another one here, we might do. See how Scott gets on. Oh, they're switching to dry tyres, that's interesting. I don't think it's dry enough for them Derezas anyway. If it was AO52s maybe, but not the Dunlops. I wouldn't be putting the Dunlops on, no way. Interesting.
Got slippy with there, like.
Yeah, very slippy. M3 out today again, look. The M3.
Start it up, Ray. Get it started.
Hang on.
Fuck's sake, alternator. Tell me new. 100% alternator. How many people did you try and pump for 46 with a flat battery?
Wait. Sorry.
And this is why don't fucking.
Sorry, I lost all the enthusiasm of the first rip.
Nah, there's no enthusiasm now, she's fucked.
Oh.
That's 3 alternators this year. 3 alternators in a week.
Thank you. Thanks, lads. Appreciate the help.
Getting some cross-team help there. Yeah, good times. Shit. What's happened?
The track. Could be on the track, Danny.
Injector bolt's broken, but then when we've took the injector out, it looks like nozzle's all swelled up for some reason.
But we just that's
it's not good if your nozzle swells up, is it? You have to get some cream.
My nozzle swells up often.
Right, we need to get ready because it's the hot hatch race straight after this, and there's only about half an hour of this race left, I think.
We have 15 minutes left.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, hopefully Scott can bring home the win. He's having fun there with an M4 and an MX-5. We'll cut to that and then I'll cut back to hot hatch.
Now Scott unfortunately couldn't catch up to our main rival in Class B on this day, which was another Golf. It was a Mark 7 GTI, and this time they got the better of us, although they did have a slightly shorter pit stop penalty which might have held. But long story short, we were finishing in second place. But what happened after the checkered flag, and why did Scott get disqualified?
Scott, the win didn't come, but the season has been fantastic.
No, definitely not a champion's drive then. Danny definitely did a champion's drive. In the first stint, he were absolutely flying. The whole idea was to pit as early as possible, but I think in those conditions, really, I should have made the decision to leave him out for longer. So he came in more or less bang on the pit window opening time. And then by that point, the tyres had cooled down. So I went out, and they were on the radio telling me the times Luke were doing. Yeah. And he were taking 2 seconds, 3 seconds out as I got up to speed.
As you might have seen in some of my videos in the past, after the checkered flag has flown, it's common courtesy, it's decorum of a racer to then thank the marshals by waving at them. Normally you're waving at spectators, you're waving at anyone, you just have a little wave. And normally if you're spectating there in the grandstand, that's when you'll probably start to applaud. So what Scott does is a little bit silly here, because he crosses the finish line, lets off the accelerator completely. We can see the throttle traces on the data logger there. And he turns in to a wet corner with no throttle on and just kind of coasting with one hand on the wheel, because with his other hand he's trying to thank the marshals. He's trying to wave to people. So this is quite obviously a mistake by Scott. You could argue that he put his gratitude towards others ahead of the safety for himself. I would simply say he was being daft. Now the issue here is that there was a recovery happening on track at the same time, which is why we see the JCB. Now long story short, Scott ended up getting quite a harsh penalty for this. He actually got himself disqualified from the race. So imagine you've spent all that money, that time and effort, testing, etc. You finish on the podium after an hour and 40 minutes of racing in the rain, and then a small lapse of judgment like that can end up with you getting disqualified. So the officials really didn't like what happened here, or what almost happened. Now if we look back at the video, I'm not sure how Scott could have recovered it better, really. He did say at the time that he intentionally didn't do the traditional front wheel drive thing of flooring it, because he didn't want to make it look like he was showing off or something like that, but I mean, it's clear to me what happened here. He turned in without any throttle, a bit too fast, and the rear just stepped out. This was always going to happen. Now, did he do it on purpose? Do you think he might have done it on purpose to try and do a little drift, you know? End of season drift. No, I don't think he did, otherwise we would have seen some heavy throttle. I think his reaction was genuine, and I do think the penalty was a little bit harsh. Now what's also interesting about this, if Scott hadn't been sharing the car on that day, if I hadn't been in the vehicle with him for this race, he would have got disqualified and had to count this round as a drop score, and he would have lost the championship. But because I was in the car, my laps still counted and the car wasn't fully kind of disqualified from the championship. So Scott, letting me take part in this event, in the end saved his championship. So in a way it's almost a happy ending, but that's enough about that. It's time for the Hot Hatch finale, and we've lost Kevin.
Kevin!
What's that film where the lad, you know, gets lost and he's on his own and he's at home?
So?
You're not at all worried about Kevin.
Why should I be? No, he's acted like a jerk once too many times, and this time he caught it in the butt.
Right, it's time for the final race of the year for the Civic, the Hot Hatch finale. I think I've already won the championship, and yeah, the cars, I'm just going to leave it as it was really. It's not quite a wet setup, it's more dry than wet, the setup, and the track is, I mean, he says it's going to rain like in the next hour, it says rain for the next 2 hours, but yeah, it don't look like it, does it? I think we'll just rip it and see what happens, so let's go, starting P1.
Can I go?
I'd go, yeah, go left and then right.
Yeah, so we don't know where Kev is, so we've packed up the car, packed up the stuff, packed
Boots.
up us, yeah, his boots, his phone's in his own car, so yeah, we'll go down and see if he turns up the assembly, even though he doesn't know to come to assembly.
Oh, his car pulls all over. How does he drive this vehicle? Watch the steering wheel.
Last minute pollies.
We'll just warm up the brakes for him.
Yeah. Full service.
Yeah. Arrive and drive, Kev. This is arrive and drive.
If he arrives.
Arriving, Kev. Yeah, so we've made it to assembly area. There we go.
Can't remember what position he was. 4?
Yeah, I think we're 4. What position are you, Kevin?
I think I'm 4.
Okay.
Is it 4? No.
Okay, right hand side.
Yeah.
Row 11.
Row 11, thank you.
Oh, they're not in the Alfas.
Oh, yeah.
Are they? Oh, they are. Row 11.
There we go, behind Dan Brown.
Beautiful.
So we're here. No Kev.
Right, we're just in the assembly area. There's about 5 minutes to go. We're starting P1. Look, Club Enduro still going on. Baker Burns. Kevin's car's here, right? And we don't know where Kevin is. He's gone somewhere with his dad and his wife, and we've brought his car for him, but we do not know where he is. His car's prepped, they fueled it and everything. We can't find him. Where the fuck? This is Josh has just said it right, this is the most Kevin thing to ever happen, but it is pure, this is Kevin. He's late for his own race, very late, and we're gonna go out in about 5 minutes. So if he doesn't crack on, then he's gonna miss it. What? He's gonna miss his own race? What the fuck, man? Seriously, how do you describe what's happening? You try and do it in the comments if you want. I'm lost for words.
He's coming running. Bye bye.
Yeah. Is that midday sleep?
I didn't sleep.
Are you okay to race?
I'll let you know.
Okay, good. We'll get suited and booted and let us how you know.
You better not drive as much of a pussy hole as you be.
That was the problem, wasn't it? The apple.
Yeah.
So Kevin was found and everybody lived happily ever after. Now just before we get started in the Hot Hatch finale, there was time for one little anxiety trip from myself. Now, whenever I'm sat in the assembly area waiting to go out, my mind always rushes with various things that could be hanging off my car. Normally it's just, you know, getting my mates to check the bonnet pins or something like that to make sure my bonnet doesn't fly up, or, you know, give the car a shake, or are the wheels tight, you know. But this time it was my oil filter, because yesterday, after cutting open the old one, I refitted a new one, and whilst doing that I was quite, what's the word? Yeah, I wasn't 100%, and I just started, for some reason, just started fearing about it.
Can you reach the oil filter from up top? Can you reach the oil filter from up top? I put it on, it might not be tight.
So luckily Josh managed to get his hand right in there, burnt his arm on the exhaust for the cause. He's a noble man, and he reckoned it was probably not going to fall off, so that was good enough.
Tight?
I can't get enough light. I can touch it and it's not like moving.
Alright, just leave it.
I can only get my fucking... Like,
I put it on yesterday when I was hanging, so I was a bit worried.
It should be fine. It's very hot under there.
Yeah, no worries. So we're just about to head out for the last race in the Civic. The sun is shining on the track. It'll still be greasy in some areas. I'm pretty happy with the setup. I've not changed dampers or anything all day. In fact, I've not changed my dampers for a while. It just seems okay. Alright, they're letting us go. Wonder if that Alfa will make it. Hopefully a few more of these Italianos make it to the grid this time, eh? Start on the outside being in pole, that seems backwards to me. Should we try second gear launch? Lots of clutch slipping, it's just going to be hard to not spin the wheels, I think. Maybe the problem. Oh, I'm right on the outside this time, okay. Apparently Kevin's not feeling well, so hopefully he remembers to start the GoPro and gets a great launch and joins me for a little race. I remember my Integra, I used to start in second sometimes. Got a 5.1 final drive though, so I don't think it'll be faster. Well, maybe we should try it. We're going to give the second gear launch a good go. We're going to try it. Might as well. The smell of clutch was worth that. Did he get away better or not? It's hard to say really, isn't it? Clutch stinks though. Oh my god, the clutch stunk then. I don't think we'll risk it.
Other Italian marks, they're welcome to join the field as guests. Dan Brown, that's made a very good start to the race. He's got ahead of Dan Sylvester in the ex-Chris McCloy car, but they are still side by side.
Dan did be on the launch then, but managed to hold it out.
hot hatches are going to be in amongst the back of the Alfas already. We could see Ryan Polly going through, and also Will Self in the Peugeot. There is the lead, though. It is Dan Sylvester in the grey and yellow and green colour. He's got himself ahead of Dan Brown now.
Don't do it. I thought he was going to lose the back end and take us out then.
Exactly how far up the order Dan Sylvester can get by the end of the first lap. Dan Brown is going with him, and then it's to the 137 car, I think, in third place. So that's the Honda Integra, is it not, of Kevin Tolbert. And he's got himself up the inside of him through Farm, and he's done it. He's got through there. He's also got past the number 97 Gabriele Iaccarino Alfa Romeo as well. So Will Self very committed, some selfless driving, you might say, as he makes his way out of Village and into... watching Dan Sylvester go past the McPhee brothers in their Fiats, and he's about to go past Andy Page in the Alfa Giulietta as well.
With the Alfas.
I think it's going to take a little bit longer for Dan Sylvester to get all the way through the field here, because the conditions have improved a little bit since this morning, I reckon, and Mike Hilton finds them more to his liking than he did earlier on. Down at the hairpin at Village is Dan Sylvester leading his way in the hot hatches.
Tricycling through the loop inside, we got a couple of inches off the deck.
racing in the slower Twin Spark Cup class within the Alfas in the past, so very much used to finding cars of this pace, trying to squeeze away through, but it's not necessarily easy for Dan Sylvester to find a way past.
Plenty of breathing in. Sylvester manages to hook in tight coming out of the loop onto the straight. There is Mike Hilton.
He's got
with
pretty
the
much
4C.
the length of the straight, hasn't he?
Sylvester still hasn't got past. He's working on it now, though. Scuttled down the inside nose through anyway before the bridge, but the Alfa's still squabbling behind. 75 ahead of 33 again.
Oh, Alfa, big slide. See you later. Go on, lad. Yes, he held it.
Oh dear, there is a car off deeply into the gravel. That's not going to get out very easily. That's the 230 car of Emilio Lucchese's, the Citroen Saxo. Left to go. Can Brown find a way through Abbey?
Plant's not far behind, and behind him it's Will Self.
Yep, just checking the class positions. David Walsh still ahead in Class B for Matthew Montepera and Joel Arguelles. Class C, David Stringwell still there.
Great one. Both Alfas zapped in one fell swoop. 4 laps down then for leader Mike Hilton in 70. He's out of our shot. But here is the second place man, leader of the hot hatch section, Dan Sylvester in number 37. There is Dan Brown. Behind Dan Brown, it's 33, which is Toby Broom ahead of Tom Hill. Peugeot, you can see there under pressure once again, this time from Kevin Talbot in the Honda Integra, who's really got go.
Yeah, they've both now cleared Paul Plant's Alfa, so he's gone down to 8th position. Ryan Polly is 9th, and David Walsh in the hot hatch Class B leading car rounds up the top 10. So Talbot chasing after Self as Dan Sylvester. It was 12 seconds behind, so he actually lost ground on the previous lap to Mike Hilton, who's done the best lap of the race, a 2-minute 37.92.
We're up 7 tenths, but we've got an Alfa in front of us. Where's the blue flags at? Thank you.
Go on, Kev, lad.
There is Dan Sylvester. He wins in Class A of the PBS Brakes Hot Hats Championship.
A pole and a double win to finish the season, that's good. That is good. I was feeling very underwhelmed after Anglesey. I mean, we had car problems and stuff like that, but just didn't seem to have the pace either. We had a lot better pace than the previous years, but yeah, this year made it count, so that's good. Feeling good. Had a lot of fierce competition from multiple people this year, really. There's not just been like one main rival. Obviously the Civic, Yellow Civic's been bringing it close as anything in the second half of the year, but the EP3s, yeah, really pushed me on as a driver and as development and stuff like that. It's been good. I think hopefully that's the fastest lap of the race, and that seals us in the championship, hopefully. And the old girl made it. She made it. Awesome. That sack's so sketchy, innit? I understand why they left it, but sketchy.
Let's head down to the pit lane now. Josh Barrett is going to speak to Mike Hilton, amongst others.
Final round of the high-tech Alfa Romeo Championship, and Mike Hilton the winner. Well done, Mike. That race was a bit nicer, wasn't it, than the previous sessions?
Yeah, it's amazing what difference it makes when you're on the right tyres. So somebody else developed into a track day car, and then I've taken it on to be a race car, so upgraded power, suspension, but it's still a modified road car, so it's still more work to do, but today it was amazing. Yeah,
it's great to have it here. Well done on your victory. So there's Mike Hilton, the winner in the great 4C. We see Danny again. Well done, Dan. Another class win and another hot hatch victory as well, so it's been a good way to end the year.
Yeah, it's been a good day. It's been a good day in both the Civic and the Golf. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun today. It's been very tricky conditions all day, but that's what I like. I mean, I know a lot of drivers say that, but it's good fun in the rain, and you know, you get to play with the car a bit. And yeah, that second race, I was on my own for a lot of it, but yeah, still enjoying driving the car flat out and just seeing what I could do. Yeah.
And for yourself, do you know what you're going to race next year, or is that all to be decided?
I don't know what I'm going to do next year now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll concentrate on next week first.
Yeah. What are you going to do next week?
Don't know, we'll find out.
No more racing this year?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well done this year. Well done on another win.
Yeah, everyone's got well.
Hot hatch trophies.
Championship. Any questions over winter, feel free to get in touch. No massive changes planned for hot hatch next year, but we do hope to see many of you back.
Why do you always do that? He always does that.
He points the camera. Class A win, Dan Sylvester. Another second place in Civic, Dan Brown. Taking the Class A overall win, and I believe the provisional Class A championship, Dan Sylvester. Now, I don't know if he's done the maths or not, but I did try and put in on the line.
Cheers, James. Alright, we're just loading up, so we'll end the video here. Oh, so you had a lot of stress this week, but the car was wicked in the end, so decent result. Happy with that. Thanks to everyone obviously helping me, all the sponsors this year, Miller's, Darkside, Dixel Talk GT, Honed of course, everyone, Alive Tuning, they're all on the door. Spectrum, On a Mission, yeah, Fixer Wheel, yeah, the sponsors have been good this year. And obviously the boys coming and helping me. And we even got Kevin to do some racing, so a good year all round.
Massive shout out to the lads for getting
Massive shout out to the lads for where the hell you were fannying about. You were fannying about, yeah, Hannah. Yeah, alright. Right, we're done anyway, so thanks for watching. Can you just wave us out a second? Just keep waving a sec. They can't hear you anyway. I've got the microphone here.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Just give us a wave to end the video. Quick wave. Quick wave, keep waving.
Josh wants to wave.
Bye, Josh.
Bye.